Howdy, y'all. This is Proverbs 30 in the ALV for November 30th, 2023. The words of Agur, son of Jacob, the oracle. The man says to Ithiel and Ukal, surely I am more brutish than any man, and do not have the understanding of a man, and I have not learned wisdom, nor the knowledge of the Holy One shall I know. Who's ascended up into the heavens and descended? Who's gathered the wind in his fists? Who's bound the waters in his garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if you know? Every word of God is purified. He's a shield to those who take refuge in him. Do not add to his words, lest he reprove you, and you be found a liar. 2 things I've asked of you. Do not deny me them before I die. Remove far from me falsehood and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the bread of my portion. Lest I be full and deny and say, who is Yahweh? Or lest I be poor and steal and handle profanely the name of my God. Slander not a servant to his master, lest he curse you and you be found guilty. There's a generation who curse their father and do not bless their mother. There's a generation who are pure in their own eyes and are not washed from their filthiness. There's a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There's a generation whose teeth are like swords, and their jaw teeth knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. The leech has 2 daughters. Give, give. There are 3 things that are never satisfied, 4 that do not say enough. Sheol and the barren womb, the earth which is not satisfied with water, and the fire which does not say enough. The eye that mocks at his father and despises to obey his mother, the ravens of the valley shall pick it out, and the young eagles shall eat it. There are 3 things that are too wonderful for me, yea, 4 that I do not know. The way of an eagle in the heavens, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a maiden. So is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I've done no wickedness. Under 3 things the earth trembles. Under 4 it cannot bear. Under a servant when he is a king, and a fool when he's filled with food. Under an odious woman when she is married, and a handmaid that is heir to her mistress. There are 4 things that are little upon the earth, but they are exceedingly wise. The ants are not a people not strong, yet they provide their food in the summer. The hyraxes are but a feeble folk, yet they make their houses in the rocks. The locusts have no king, yet they go forth, all of them by bands. The lizard you can seize with your hands, yet she is in kings' palaces. There are 3 things that are stately in their march, yea, 4 which are stately in going. The lion, which is mightiest among the beasts, and does not turn away for any. The well knit in the loins, and the he-goat, and the king against whom there is no rising up. If you've done foolishly in lifting yourself up, or if you've thought evil, lay a hand upon your mouth. For the churning of milk brings forth butter, and the wringing of the nose brings forth blood. So the forcing of wrath brings forth strife. These are always interesting sayings, and I always enjoy reading the translation towards the end about the ants, the hyraxes, the locusts, the lizard. Same thing, the next passage, the lion, the well knit in the loins, and the he-goat, and the king against there's no rising up. The well knit in the loins. I think that's the one that's greyhound or rooster, depending. That's an interesting rendition. Well knit in the loins. Only further questions, right? It's hard to not relate the whole there is a generation, basically there's a terrible generation, a selfish one who's doing what they think and devouring the poor from the earth and the needy from among men. It's hard not to project that onto our modern times. It's always interesting choices too, the different things that are called out. Things that are too wonderful, things that the earth trembles under, that are little upon the earth but exceedingly wise, stately in their march. It's just more and more and more layers, right? And I'm sure if we read the other works of Solomon, as we probably will, I would bet that several of these repeat. Now, granted, this is not Solomon, this is Agur, son of Jacob, right? Because this is like dictation, and they wrote it down because they were also wise sayings. So one might wonder if these were passed down from Solomon. I don't know who Agur is, if I could find him in the timeline, or what other significance he has, but one might imagine these are things that he heard from Solomon or related to talking to Solomon, especially all these different wonders and these different reflections on things and situations which are in the world. Always, the one that I try to focus on is, what can I learn here, right? The answer: people not strong, they provide their food in the summer. So they're constantly working, being diligent, looking ahead. Hyraxes, goats, right? Mountain goats are feeble folk, but they make their houses in the rocks. Stick with the environment in a broad sense, that you are made for, because it's to your advantage. Locusts have no king, yet they go forth all of them by bands. There's a natural organization within nature, and if we can tune into that and follow it for our different processes and designs, we tend to benefit. And the lizard you can seize with hands, just as in king's palaces. There's something to be said about ubiquity, right? You can't stop it in this case. Like, lizards, one by one, are easy to catch when you're trying to get one, but they're sly. They can climb up walls and they can change their color. So to some level, I suppose they were ubiquitous in these palaces because they were nice, cool, dry places, right? They were pleasant to be in. I feel like there's more here. We could expand just on that. So maybe that'll come out of some study of my own. If you have comments on any of these, you have insights, if you say like, hey, that's interesting, I think it means this, please comment below, let me know. If you've done foolishly, or if you've thought evil, lay your hand on your mouth. Bad cheetah. But real talk, we should own up to our mistakes. And I don't know that we should be like punishing ourselves for it, but we need to recognize some form of penance, I feel like, right? This is what it's trying to tell us. That it's good for us to, anguish is too strong of a word, to feel in no uncertain terms that we've done wrong. Who am I to judge? Go with God. Be blessed.